Someone wants to know, is it better to homeschool an autistic child? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds through the lens of the principle self-government. And you know what? I teach a lot about homeschool too, because I homeschooled many of my children. In this video, we're going to be talking about homeschool and autism. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about homeschool, what I know about it, and we're going to talk about what homeschool can do for an autistic child to help you make your decision whether you think that might be a direction you want to go. To say I have a bias for homeschool would be an understatement. All of my foster children went to school. I saw how that played out for them. Many of them were the ones that I had that were autistic or neurodiverse. And I saw the struggles that they had, and many of them asked to be homeschooled, and I was not able to do that because the state would not allow it at the time. All four of my biological children excelled at homeschooling, and it created some of our most treasured memories for our life. I absolutely love homeschooling. Now that said, I do know that there are some people who've tried homeschooling, and it's absolutely not a match for them or for their family. And that can be the case. I think every family needs to ponder and sometimes even pray. I know I did. I prayed about what is really best for their family. And then whatever answer that they get to their thinking and studying it out and they're praying, then I think they follow through and they just trust. There are a few things you need to know if you're going to embark upon homeschooling, and that is that it doesn't have to be like public school at all. In fact, the people that try to do public school at their homes are the ones who usually end up hating homeschool. And they usually feel inadequate too. One thing that you should know about homeschooling is you can learn everything K through 12 in 4 years if you love learning. So really, the biggest thing that you need to do is develop a love of learning in the educational environment. Also, the homeschool is more about the relationships with the family than it is about curriculum. And now that may seem like, uh-oh, I want my child to have the curriculum. You absolutely can have as much curriculum as you want. My children were doing college studies by the time they were in junior high age, and by the time they were 16, they were starting university studies, like at the university, either online or there, physically, because they definitely excelled academically. However, really, everything we did went back to who we are as a group, what memories we wanted to make, the conversations and discussions that we had, the culture that we created at home, and that culture, how it revolved around learning. It was beautiful. Really, you have to want to have good, strong family bonds. That's one of the biggest things. Now, I know autistic kids oftentimes struggle socially. And so then people wonder, okay, if we do homeschool, then we may not have as much social, and so then would they develop as much socially? But they'd probably like not to have to deal with all that social stuff and sitting there and waiting and having to, adapt to all these noises and different things. And I know that seems like, it sounds like it'd be a good idea, right? But then on the other hand, they say, but then will they ever have any friends? And we want them to learn that as well. Well, here's the thing. There's no rule that says homeschoolers have to be antisocial. And by the way, you learn social from your family, you practice it on your friends. At least if you're smart, that's how you do it. And so there's no reason you can't have tons of social with your family and then go practice it out in the community as much as you would like. So your child could have karate classes, could be on a swim team, could go to a church group, could play with neighborhood children, could be part of a homeschool co-op, a sign language class. There's so many things that you could do, a geography club, a book discussion group. I mean, these are all things that we did. Plus, we were in drama troops and debate leagues and homeschool choirs. The opportunities are seriously endless. So, if your child is interested in having a little bit more of a personalized experience in education and you want to structure the social so that it fits a little bit better with your child, homeschooling could be a really great idea. The neat thing about homeschooling is you can structure it for what fits your family lifestyle and your child. Oftentimes what's happening at the school is not a fit for a child with ASD. What do you want to do for your child? And then you have to decide, can you adjust your life to do it? It is a little bit of an adjustment. You have to get up at a certain time. I mean, usually, most people do. Not always, but you can. So get up at a certain time, do certain things in a certain order. I mean, that's life with autism anyway, right? That usually you want to have your structure that you follow. You do have to be careful about time wasters. Lots of times autistic kids really want to get into computers and they want to waste away the day on their computers, and then they don't end up having the interactions with the family and doing the chores and other things at home that they should. But usually as a homeschool parent, you can make sure that that chore time is fit into the day, and you can help the child branch out by creating a really firm, solid structure. But probably one of the most beautiful things is just the relationship. You get to develop a relationship that is deeper. You get to discuss the books together. You get to plan the projects together and go on the field trips together. You get to have discussion groups with other autistic kids that discuss just like you do, or with other people. It doesn't matter. You can tailor fit a group to who you want. And here's another beautiful thing. When it comes to the social and practicing social with peers and friends, in homeschool communities, by and large, what I've noticed over the years is that the people are so much more accepting and loving and caring about each other. The children aren't in the habit of judging each other, because if they've been homeschooled their whole lives, they're used to siblings and just accommodating any different type of person of any different age that's around them. And so people are a little bit more easygoing, and they don't have the strange social expectations that other people do in the public school. You do have to keep working on being self-motivated so that you don't get lazy, because that is something that can happen with a person who maybe has an obsession that they want to follow through with. But if your ASD child does have an obsession, something that they absolutely love, like music or math or construction or something like that, you can spend a certain amount of time of each day working on those things and really developing that genius that they might have, which is beautiful too. There's so much more that I could share with you about homeschooling, and this relates to anyone, whether it's an autistic child or anyone. But I don't have time to go into that now. There are other homeschool videos on this channel, but also I have a website. Well, I have multiple websites. There's the Teaching Self-Government website, which is all about the parenting for the child, which I think would be incredibly helpful for you so that you can really get the communication happening, helping them accept no answers, follow instructions, disagree appropriately, and making sure that home culture is good. But also there is a website that I have all about homeschooling, and everything on it is free. In fact, there's even a couple of free conferences that were done during the time of COVID that you can go and watch to help you see how I structure my homeschool day. That website is called heartofhomeschool.net. So go to teachingselfgovernment.com and heartofhomeschool.net.